Okay, so we had a little technical issues, but here we are back again. Okay. So anyway, last week we did not have a live stream because Cecil had to go to his eye doctor, and I got a lot of messages about how Cecil is fine. So I'll tell you why he had to go to the eye doctor. Right, he's diabetic and he has glaucoma, not glaucoma, cataracts, and he can't see. Or the way it was better explained to me is he can see, but it's like seeing through. I don't know if you took a sheet of like wax paper and then put some more Vaseline on it and tried to look through it. So he basically sees like blobby things and shapes and all that sort of stuff, but he doesn't see. Okay. So he had his first visit to see if his eyes are healthy enough to do the surgery to remove the cataracts. Right. So it's a three-part thing. So today was checking on the health of his eyes. If they're good. She gave me drops that he has to be on for the rest of his life. The next step is actual testing, right? And then from the testing, if everything is good, then we'll go on to the surgery to remove his cataracts so that he can see. But whether he's a candidate or not, he's fine.
Good.
Okay, so that's the update on Cecil. All right, so what we're
And
here.
it also appears you're wearing a Pooh-approved sweatshirt at this time.
Yes, I am. All right, and Pooh's sound asleep. And here, we're going to be really, Chris and I are going to be really, really vague right now. Okay? Yes, we are. All right, we have a special guest that we are recording tomorrow.
Do we have to be vague, or can we not be
vague? No,
vague?
because here's the thing. This is why I want to be vague, in case we get ghosted.
Oh. I don't think we're going to get ghosted. He's Canadian.
Oh, is he Canadian? Oh, so that he had. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to say who we're interviewing tomorrow and will be up on the podcast and just, it'll be the following one. So not tomorrow, Wednesday, of course.
I don't know. So on pain of jinxing this, tomorrow we are recording Johnny Devaney, who is also under Jauncey, which you may know as the guy who does How Different Breeds React to the Burglar on like YouTube and Facebook videos. It's hysterical. And there was a new one we were watching Sunday, and he did Zolo, somebody else say it for me. The Mexican hairless dog.
Okay.
And Cam had to pause the video because I had an asthma attack laughing my ass off. And I had to explain it to him because he hadn't, because it was it's this long word starting with an X. He's like, what? As a normal non-dog person would. And I legit had an asthma attack for like 5 minutes laughing because I thought I was going to die. This guy's really funny. So we want to know how he knows dogs so well.
Yeah, so he has.
It. I love it.
So we're very excited about that because we're fans. Okay, but anyway, so we actually have a topic tonight, and we got late start on this, so let's kind of jump into this. Okay. Hourly versus commission versus some sort of combination of the both for paying yourself or your people, your employees. All right. So as a sole person working, the reason I went hourly in the first place was because I felt working corporate, the pay structure was not fair. It was not fair to me. Okay. So I was earning commission, but I was also doing dogs that weren't priced properly. They were matted and needed more handling. They didn't fall under like the standard breed, like a Shih Tzu should take you 45 minutes to an hour, but I had Shih Tzus that were taking me an hour and a half. That's not fair, right? And part of that was, of course, because a lot of them were poorly behaved. They're coming in in cast mats. Right? So when I went mobile, I figured out what my hourly rate needed to be, and I went hourly. All right. So if that Shih Tzu took me less than an hour, it was one rate. But you know what? We started going over that hour, and then I'm being compensated. So that was why I went hourly. And this is back in 2002, why I did it that way. All right. So both Angie and Denise have employees, and Denise, you do sort of like a combination of the two, correct?
I do. Yep.
All right. So you know what? Explain to us how you pay your employees.
Okay, so let me do a little backstory, sort of like you. I was the same. I worked at a vet clinic and I got straight commission. So in January, when it was slow, I was expected to come in and if dogs didn't show or whatever, I only had two. I mean, I was sort of, out of luck for that day. So when I opened, I knew I never wanted to be that. I didn't want to be that place because I didn't like the ups and downs. I wanted to offer my employees stability and structure across the board. So I wanted to lean towards hourly because we're more of a team unit as far as that goes. But then like no one complains about helping out a bather. We all help each other out. So I wanted that unity. But I wanted to add in a production bonus. So then that way I still had the drive to do a little bit more and not milk a clock. So my groomers, when they start out, if they're newer, start out at an hourly. And then once they hit a tier, then they get 35% off of that difference. And I have an infographic actually that I sent over to Angie that I can also share on here. That's my formula. And you can plug and play numbers if anyone's interested in figuring it out. But it's really nice because the employees get to make more, based off of what they do, but they're also guaranteed a minimum paycheck. And honestly, every week they're always hitting production bonus anyway. So really that minimum has never made a big deal unless they're just starting out. So it breeds that team atmosphere.
Okay. And there are some states where you have to guarantee a minimum hourly rate.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, no matter what, you have to watch if you're straight commission that they're making minimum wage. If you're keeping them there for 40 hours and they only have 2 dogs a day, it has to at least equal minimum wage.
Yeah. Honestly, that's my favorite. And I haven't been the employer because I've been in enough situations where I didn't want to deal with employees anymore. I just wanted to deal with me. I'm difficult enough to deal with. For me, I didn't want more people.
Right.
But I've been on both sides of it where I remember being a bather at PetSmart where I was hourly and groomers pissing and moaning.
Mm-hmm.
But they were still making more than me. I also worked at a shop where I was strict commission, but she expected me to scrub the baseboards and clean when it was slow, not just regular cleaning, like, oh, there's nothing for me to do. Oh, I should be scrubbing baseboards like so-and-so.
Right.
Y'all
get one
guess. You're not, since you're a commission, you're not getting paid.
Y'all get one guess as to whether or not I ever scrubbed a baseboard at that salon. So I see both sides of this, and the combo model is probably the best for both fairness for both sides and productivity.
So yeah, that was my one thing. Sorry, that was my one thing real quick I wanted to throw out there. I wanted to go off of what was fair for the employee. I want employees to have fair. So I have to live up to, if I'm guaranteeing you this hourly rate, my prices have to be up there in order for you. So it holds me as a business owner accountable so employees can come in and know that my business stands for them as well. So it's definitely like a symbiotic relationship in that. So I want to toss that in there. That was another reason was for employees too. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Can we share that infographic, Mary? Can you make it so she can share something?
Well, yeah, we could just upload it wherever this is live.
There's a share screen button.
Is there a share screen? Yes, there is a
Yeah,
share.
it's in the middle.
Hold on a second.
I had to find
be able to do it.
Okay, so I need the what do you call it?
Or Denise, if you have it up.
Denise should be able to share it.
Yeah, I had to find it on. So if you guys go through, let me find it. I'll see what I can do to find it.
Okay.
Don't check in messages to me because I never got it.
You never got it? Oh,
No.
okay. I will get
Okay.
it.
So, so Chris touched on, you know what, working straight commission and then expecting to do other things. See, and this is what my problem is, and it was my problem as when I was an employee as well, too. Okay. I make more money grooming dogs. I make more money for the shop grooming dogs. Okay. If I am cleaning, which I dislike to do to start off with, and you had a panoramic view of my office, you'd get that. Glad that you don't. Okay. I think from the employer point of view, that's not a good use of resources. So groomers are resources, and groomers bring money in. Okay. So would you rather have a groomer bring money in, or would you rather have them clean?
All right. Can I interject as an employer here?
Yes, you can.
All right. So I have requirements for my groomers. In between dogs, their entire area must be clean
Okay.
because a clean dog should not be walking through some other dog's fur on the floor. Your area will be entirely cleaned. Your tools will be cleaned, disinfected, and sanitized.
And that's
if I
perfectly
were
reasonable.
paying commission, I would ask the same thing. I pay hourly, but
Okay.
it will be done in between every dog.
All right. No, what I'm talking about is the end of the day, mopping the floors, washing the walls, that type
Pay a
of thing.
cleaning company for that because I pay them less than I pay my employees, and they do it faster because they're a cleaning company.
Yeah.
They're in and out in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Whole places.
So what's on my to-do list for tomorrow, by the way, is to clean my office again. Okay. It has to be on my to-do list, and it has to be there at least every other week. Okay. Because if not, I won't do it. It'll be like I have literally no desk space left anywhere, and I have a cabinet here. I have a tabletop. I have another tabletop here. Okay. Do you think there's more than 4 inches of clear space on any of these 3 surfaces? You would be wrong. Okay. So that's what I have to do tomorrow so that I can go 2 weeks and go, yeah, I got 4 inches of space left again. So, but yeah, anyway, that's me. Okay.
When I was hiring a seasoned groomer, she came to me and said, how will I get paid? And I said, hourly. And she said, well, I've always done commission. And I said, okay. And she said, well, I get 50%. And I said, all right. How much did you make last year? She said, 40 grand. I said, you work full time? She said, yeah. I said, okay. Let's do some math, shall we? Now, if I pay you $20 an hour for a 40-hour week, you make $41,600. Wait, you do? Yeah, you do. And I said, since you have 21 years experience, I was planning on paying you 25. Because you can put up the numbers. Because you can groom enough dogs to make that reasonable for me.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, oh. And I said, I don't pay commission. I pay hourly. So if you don't want hourly, I understand. No, that's fine.
Well, I think this is something that's so ingrained in our industry, this whole commission thing, that what they're not looking at is that 50% of $40 is $20, and 30% of $100 is more money than that. Please don't make me do math.
$30.
Thank you. Okay. So you have to, it's not the commission, it's how much is the shop charging?
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they're
It is.
charging peanuts, the groomer can make 75% and still be making, now, like you're saying, a Shih Tzu, hour and a half total, bath, haircut. Okay. If you're making 50% on a $50 haircut for an hour and a half, that's $25 over an hour and a half. You're making like $16 an hour.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
My bather makes more than you do.
Mhm.
Yeah, because what people don't realize is commission means nothing unless you look at the price list. Like
Right.
I know someone who owns a very successful mobile grooming company, and she pays her groomer's commission. It's not 50%, but she has bonuses, she has incentives, and her prices, because she makes sure she's set her area in very affluent areas. I've been things. Um, her prices are amazing, and her groomers do very well.
Yeah.
And she does well because
Mhm.
she's priced appropriately for the service she provides and for the area she's in.
Yep. Yeah. I have a new groomer who is paid hourly, but I want to go to a production bonus for her because she's new, so she's kind of slow.
Mhm.
So I don't book her a ton of dogs. Right now, I'm not really making money off of her. She's kind of an investment in the future.
Yep.
Um, she's got the drive, she's got the attitude, she's got everything you need. I just got to give her time. So I want to do the production bonus with her. That's why I wanted that infographic.
Yes, I will make
Um,
sure to send it to you once I find it.
Okay.
And
And
I'll put on the Tech Rumor Town Hall in the comments too.
Yeah.
Or if anyone wants to reach out to me.
It's
and
in, but let me also make sure I get it because this is also being live streamed on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
On my personal profile, Pet Groomer Town Hall, and my two business pages.
Oh yeah,
So I
definitely.
want to make sure I put the infographic that Denise has in all of those places so that wherever you're watching this from, you'll have access to that infographic.
And one of the comments is, from Judy is a groomer should leave the space clean. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. They should clean up their area. But
and the
I've
crates, every
but I-
crate they used.
but I've worked in shops where, and that was part of the problem, where they either said, I don't get paid to clean, I get paid to groom, and they maybe you cleaned only the crates they used, which means, and I've seen this happen, they reused the same two to three crates all day without
that's-
cleaning between them.
Nope. I'll send you your check. Get out.
I've seen some things. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I've worked in different corporate environments, and then even if they went, I'm cleaning up my crates and my area behind the crates, the bathing bunkers, refilling the shampoo, all of that stuff then gets on the bathers if they have time to do it because they're paid hourly and they are not usually allowed to get overtime. So this is how you build gradually disgusting salons.
Mhm.
See, my people are paid hourly. So, and I also book for when I have a bather, she's not bathing all day long. She bathes about 5 hours. And then the last 3 hours, she's doing checkouts and cleaning
Mhm.
and refilling and restocking and like appointments and this sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So she's got about 3 hours of that. And then I have a cleaning company that comes in and does the deep clean because they're in and out in 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
And we have all experienced those
yeah.
salons. I
oh,
can't.
I've seen terrifying salons.
Mhm.
I remember when I was first teaching pet first aid, and I'm trying to get local classes together, and so I have my flyers, and I went to this one shop, and it was very proudly all her certifications were on the glass window, and I walked into it, and my feet were sticking to the rug in this grooming salon.
Oh, why is there a rug?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Right?
I'm
Uh,
not a grooming salon, but I got cats. I don't get, well, I got leftover carpet from when I moved in, but cats don't go there.
So, and then the grooming room was disgusting. It was, and then what was the killer on that one? She had her kids in there, and her kids were playing in like the crates, and the crates were dirty. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I did not expect her to go to the class. Gave her the flyer, wasn't expecting her to be there. I was not disappointed.
I have gone to classes in salons. There was one, I went to a class in a salon that smelled so badly of urine that I had to actually go outside, say to the instructor, excuse me, I need to go outside for about 5 minutes because I can't breathe. It was I had such a headache. It was an overwhelming smell of urine. It was so bad. And then I ended up going back to that salon for a CPR class because I forgot that was that salon. And I walked in and yeah, right, I did need to go outside forever, but I paid for the class. So I didn't want to miss out on the class I paid for. There was hair growing out of the tub, and it was so lush and so thick, it could have been a dog. And it was all moldy, and the crates were all disgusting. And oh,
Hmm.
you see a
Um,
lot of things when you're CPR instructor.
yeah, yeah. I have smelled some shops from the parking lot.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah, when that door opens, it's like whoosh, and it's like, oh no.
And I just think the groomers in there become nose blind.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
My husband worked for the New York City Transit Authority, and he was in bus depots. So it's the smell of diesel and exhaust all day long.
Mhm.
He could never smell. He never smelled that. If my house was on fire, he wouldn't have smelled any of the smoke because he was so used to being in that environment.
Yeah. But I
Um,
mean, how do you not see like
you
the
see it.
crystallized urine and the poop that's in the trays? Like they're like I called pee trays or something in the cage banks.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
tray that
the
comes out
plastic
bottom.
underneath with the little lips so that when they pee, it doesn't dribble down to the dog underneath them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's like a platform that they sit on, and then
Yeah.
there was like poop and pee that was so old. It was like those grow your own
Wow.
crystal things as a kid.
Oh my gosh.
It was like that. It was so nasty. I was literally disgusted.
Okay, so maybe we wrangle it now back to topic.
What you're saying is if you get paid strictly commission, there is a danger of breeding the not my problem, not my, oh, and yeah, that's Michelle's like, we're fasting now. This is now a thing. No dinner tonight. Because it gets to be I'm not getting paid for that. And that also is what happens when your prices are too low.
Yes.
Because as one of our comments said, 50% of 100 is way different than 35% of 200. So if you're getting commission and your pricing is too low, that helps breed that I'm getting paid to groom and that's it attitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because a lot of the groomers that I see in the groups are, well, I get 50% commission. Okay. About how much you average a day. Well, almost about $125 to $150. Are you making minimum wage in your state? Because in my state, you're not.
Right.
And you need to check your numbers.
Hmm.
You could go work at Walmart, which requires no skill to be a cashier, or I'm not saying they're not skilled. I'm just saying entry level cashier. You can make minimum wage and make more money.
Yep.
And no one is, I don't think, going to bite you at Walmart generally on the.
Wow,
Well, that's another.
That's Walmart.
that's another story.
That's another day.
Topic.
If you work the overnight shift, things might happen. Walmart and Waffle House. I don't know.
Let's say Target.
Maybe
Let's say
you
Target.
say, thank you. Target might be a better choice.
Target. Or Michael's.
See?
Michael's is very nice. I love Michael's.
I couldn't work at Michael's.
No, because I would never come home with
That's-
money.
Have you ever been to a Walmart?
Okay, someone might bite you at a Walmart. So we'll say Michael's. You
Yeah.
can make minimum wage working at Michael's in a very nice, clean, friendly, craft enjoying environment.
I would spend all of my money.
And yeah, but you could, and it's easier than grooming.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you would
yeah.
also get, Chris, get discounts for Michael's then.
Ah,
I had friends who, when they retired, they took a job at a store they buy a lot at so that they could
It's
get
like 2 days a week just so they get a
2
discount.
days a week and they get their discount.
I'm done with grooming. I now work at Michael's. I could never work at Michael's. I would literally have no money. I
Yeah.
would work for nothing. I would just be taking home things all the time. My house would become Michael's, but I would own it all. It would be
It would be wonderful.
I would be so happy.
Actually,
All the things you
what we
made.
should do is at trade shows, we should bring extra crafting supplies that we bought with like really good intentions and we were going to use it, and maybe swap out for things again I'm not going to use, but now they're different.
That's a really good idea.
it is.
I like that. We need to start a group like right after this, Mary.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, watch for the invites to.
Yeah. We'll post the link in the thing. Yeah.
But my problem is I would go through all of my stuff and I would bring like 2 things because I'd go through all the other stuff and I'd be like, oh, I forgot I had this. Oh, I have to do this, and still keep my project. It would just update my project list. And
Okay.
it wouldn't actually bring anything. And then I would have, there's still a problem.
Okay. No, it would have to be like a potluck type thing. You would have to
Yeah, I
bring.
like it.
You
Yeah.
couldn't go to the swap meet unless you brought something,
Yeah.
and then you
And
had
you
to
can
give it back.
you can only take the amount of things you brought.
It'd be a lot.
Or if our goal is to, well, no, then we'd have leftover stuff. No, to make it even, say you brought 5 things, you could bring home 5 different things.
Okay, there'd be a lot of people.
You could do.
Yeah, it
Bring
depends on
home
how
one
much
other
it's
Yeah,
worth.
Michelle says that seems totally unreasonable. I don't agreeing with Michelle here. You snooze, you lose.
Yeah, I'm in Michael's every week because I take my dog there, and he loves to cruise around in the cart. And thankfully, most of the time we get out with maybe one thing.
Yeah. and
Okay,
Jamie
back
makes
to
it really.
Crawford, Jamie. Thank
Yes.
you. She says the one thing I don't understand is why all groomers don't charge their large dogs double what they charge for smalls. I don't flipping know because I don't get people. This is why I work with dogs, Jamie.
Right, but here's
Yeah.
the thing. When I was still working, I had 2 hourly rates. One was for small dogs, and the other one was for large dogs and cats. And also any dog that I considered to be have excessive coat. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I
I
think
have
that's
4.
okay. Well, okay, Angie, what's your 4 hourly rates?
Bunny, cat, large dogs, smalls. And they are all very different because my smalls are all elderly smalls.
Because you
And
got rid of all your other that were not elderly, right? You moved
right,
strictly
I
to
moved
small.
them to my groomer. And my large are all difficult large. So my large are different prices for a different reason. And the cats, I'm the only one that does. I'm the only idiot that does cats, and I'm the only one that does bunnies. So, but I'm also the only game in town when it comes to bunnies. So my bunny rate and my cat rate are much higher than anything else I do. But I do all the cats no one else can do that they used to bring in like on massive amounts of drugs, and I don't do sedated pets. All right, so my large is 1.5 times higher than, or 2.5 times higher than my smalls. So I can do, if I can do 2 smalls in the time that I can do a large, I want 2.5 for doing that large. So if it takes me 3 hours to do a large, I'm getting 2.5 times what I would get for smalls.
And what
Because
I
smalls are easier.
And I love how you break that down, Angie, because when I asked you about cats and rabbits, when I love that you do it that way because it can go across the board anywhere. I hate when you have someone who's in California talking to somebody who is like in no man's land, Ohio or whatever. You're talking about 2 different prices, even just down the road sometimes. So I love putting it at something like that because it can plug into anyone's area of what, and their overhead or whatever they need to charge. So I love the way that you make that.
And my bunny rate is 4 times my smalls rate, and my cat rate is 3 times my smalls rate. That's how I figure it out. Because I can do an elderly small in an hour and a half. Groomer's Wall, Trick Saver, boom, 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 done. And I get $75 for that. Well, a cat takes more skill, takes a lot more finesse. So I should be making more money. And the extra larges that I've got, that's more wear and tear on my back, my hips, my knees. So yes, I will, that is more than double. So
We
it's
have
2.5 times my smalls.
we have a question for Angie, who
Yes.
is both Brenda's idol, and Anita says you're amazingly, incredibly inspiring, which you are, so you should know that. But your question was, when you pay hourly, do you charge the dogs differently for higher paid employees? And are you able to keep your payroll under 40%?
I actually do, but for a different reason. Okay, so my new groomer is doing essentially bath dogs. So like Goldens, Labs, they are lower priced because they're an easier groom. They take up less time. I don't do those dogs anymore because it gave them all to her. I have one elderly Golden that I kept, and he gets charged more simply because 1, I'm doing the groom. 2, he's what we call an express groom. He gets done straight through. So he comes in the door and walks right in the tub, sits his fanny down, gets washed, gets conditioned, gets dried, and goes on the table, gets finished dried, and gets done, and walks right out the door to dad. So, yes, and sometimes it takes 2 people to get him done. Like Angie, my assistant Angie, she will dry his head while I'm doing his nails. So he is more than all the rest, but the normal ones, Ashley gets paid hourly. But yes, the dogs she does are less money because they're less work, because she's new. And yes, my payroll is under 40%. It runs about 32, 33, 32, 33.
Because we have control of our prices.
Yeah.
So if our
Yeah.
payroll, if we're paying our people appropriately and we're paying them so they can live, and our payroll is out of control, chances are our prices are too low. I mean,
And
there's
I have
little chance there's some weird expense somewhere else, but no prices.
I have benefits up the kazoo too. I mean, I pay for education. My crew is going to Intergroom this year. My assistant Angie's going to Super Zoo with me. We're all going to the New England show, and I pay for hotel, travel, food. I pay for all of their uniforms. I buy them new sneakers every 6 months. They have spring jackets, spring and fall jackets, winter jackets, raincoats. I suit them up and sort them out, and they have all their equipment and all that stuff. So, yeah. But I charge my word. I
Mhm.
charge what they are worth. And I make sure that every year there's a sign on my door that says, "We are having a price increase on January 1st." You know when I posted it? 2018,
Right.
5 years ago. We were open for 2 months. It hasn't come down since.
See?
It's been up there for 5 years. And every January 1st, guess what? There's a price increase.
And not to
And
switch
I
off
have
subject. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
0 complaints. Go ahead.
But when you do price increases, if you're doing your prices, make sure you're doing at least over inflation. Because this whole $2 a dog and all that other, you have to go off a percentage and inflation. So I just whole another subject for a different day. But when you're doing price increases, make
All
sure
right.
they are.
Do we want to discuss pricing next week?
Oh, we can
Yes.
do that. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So
Yeah, the $2, $3 price increase. I'm like,
Wow.
why even bother?
Well, yeah,
Correct.
why bother? Oh no, I have some prices to correct. I have some big mistakes to correct. So I went up on one customer $200,
Your house call. Yeah.
and they're still like I took them from $400 to $600, and it's still a bargain because it's 2 Handstrip Airedales.
Mm.
Still a bargain.
I say the same thing. Michelle
Yeah.
said my reply when someone complains about prices, I am so sorry you can't afford us. Here are some more affordable salons in your area. I
Yeah.
actually have a 2-page list that is ready to go in a folder right next to the printer, and we hand it to them.
Yep.
Yeah.
that's, you know what, I like that idea because when I went into my vet because Cecil needed to go to the eye doctor, I don't know who. I'm new to the area, and even if I wasn't, I still wouldn't know who the eye specialists are. So they're like, "Hey, can you guys recommend an eye specialist for me, for Cecil?" And they're like, "Here," and they pull out a sheet, and it's got 4 names on it.
Yep.
Yeah. See, like Michelle said, we are a luxury service.
Yeah.
My salon is a spa. It is not the typical grooming salon. I have heated towels. I use the best products. They get everything they need. It is completely inclusive. I have 2 people working on cats and rabbits. Me and my assistant Angie. And so, and you're welcome. All my cat and bunny owners sit right there in the room. They are literally 6 inches from that table. They see everything that goes on. So they know everything that goes into the groom.
Yeah.
So when I say to them that your cat is pelted to the skin, and that will be $250, and I had one owner go, but it only took you an hour. And I said, oh, see, you're not understanding. You ever hear the story about the guy that walked into the Navy Yard and there was a big bump in the ship? And they said, there's like a big bump in the ship and we don't know what to do. And he walked over and then he kind of felt around a little bit. About 3 feet later, he went, bunk, and the bump came out of the ship. And he said, that'll be $2,000. And they said, you were only here 5 minutes. He said, yeah, you're not paying me for my 5 minutes. You're paying me for the 30 years that it took me to figure out where exactly to put that hammer so that it would only take me 5 minutes. That'll be $2,000. And I said, Angie can help check you out up front while I clean the room. And Angie's like, right this way. And they were like, oh, okay. And then they came back. And now they're on a 4-week schedule. And it's much less expensive because it's, I mean, the cat is cake compared to a pelting.
Okay, so we are going to wrap it up. Okay. And we will be back next week. And we're going to discuss pricing next week.
I like it.
All right. So we'll see everybody in a week.